Hello, and thanks for watching Proactive. I'm joined by Keith Muller. He's the CEO of Atlantic Lithium. Keith, good to see you today.
Stephen, great to join you. Thank you for having us back.
You're welcome. And Keith, you're out with news that you've been granted a mining lease for your Ewoyaa Lithium Project in Ghana. So really a big milestone that you've been waiting for.
Certainly, Stephen. This is something that has been on the cards now for well over 12 months. We initially submitted the application probably around this time, 2022. And we've spent the last 6 months vigorously engaged with the government in Ghana negotiating the terms and conditions of this mining lease grant. And it's certainly not only just for Atlantic Lithium, a large milestone that we've achieved, but also for the government. This is the first lithium mine to operate in Ghana. And Ghana has certainly indicated their intentions to be part of the energy transition in the new age world. So we look forward to partner with the government to bring this project into production.
So take us through what the mining lease actually gives you, because you do have exclusive rights here for the moment.
Certainly. So the mining lease is really the first step into the permitting process. So what that allows us to do, now we can kick off our engagement process with the community. We've already done a lot of work in the community in terms of bringing them on board, bringing them on the journey with us. But now we can officially launch that. So there's a 6 to 9 months program that relates to the EPA permitting. And then following that EPA permitting is what we will get is called a mine operating permit, which is really an amalgamation of the mining lease and as well as the community engagement work that we are doing. And that will allow us to break ground sometime this period next year. So September next year is when we're looking to break ground.
So Keith, you released a feasibility study back in June. Take us through the broad outline of that and what you're actually sitting on at Ewoyaa.
Certainly. So probably if we start off with the resource, so Ewoyaa Lithium is a hard rock spodumene mine. Currently, we have a resource of 35 million tons and a reserve of 26 million tons. That gives us a life of mine around 12 years. And during that 12 years, we produced just over 3.5 million tons of spodumene concentrate. For our study, we used quite a conservative long-term pricing outlook of spodumene concentrate. So our long-term pricing was around $1,410 a ton. And using that outlook, this project will generate around $6.5 billion over the life of mine. From that $6.5 billion, from an NPV perspective, the project returns an NPV of $1.3 billion. And that's really a healthy return. If you look at the low CapEx requirements of this project, the CapEx is $185 million. Of which we mainly funded. Atlantic Lithium still requires around $38 million from a funding perspective. The bulk of our funding comes from our great long-term partner, Piedmont Lithium. So Piedmont Lithium will fund the initial $70 million of this project. Then in combination with the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Ghana, MIT. So MIT will also invest $27 million into the project upfront to get a 6% stake and ownership. As a result of that 6% stake, they will also contribute towards the funding of the project. So over the next 2 years, we can expect to see more funds being released by MIT to retain that 6% ownership. So that will equate to probably another $11 million or so. And then they also wanted to come onto our register of Atlantic Lithium for an additional $5 million. So all up, we're looking to receive approximately $42 million from MIF. So this is a great vote of confidence from the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Ghana to invest that sort of money into our project. And then, as I said, about 70% of the total capex from Piedmont. So that really just leaves us with $38 million to close the funding gap.
Okay. And Keith, now that you have the license, what are the first steps?
So next for us is to now start looking at long lead items. To grow our team. So you'll see a lot of announcements over the next 6 months around the growth of our team, both in country as well as here in Australia, also placing long lead items. We still got to firm up this EPA permit process that we are going through, but really that's a formality in our look. So we'll also now engage more heavily with our exploration drilling. So we've been holding back and we've been identifying targets. So we're looking to release the drill rigs now to go and target some of these exploration targets that we've built up. And we also expect to see some more permitting come through from other exploration licenses in Ghana. So one of the things that you would have noticed even in our mining lease grant is Ghana really want to participate in downstream beneficiation. What that means for us is really Atlantic is a partner of choice. But we all know that for a conversion plant to work in the country, in any jurisdiction, you need feedstock, and you need feedstock for a long time. So what this enables us to do is really use that desire as a leverage position to look for more spodumene and to look for other targets within Ghana itself.
Well, Keith, I hope you'll keep us posted on any progress you make. Congratulations again. Thank you for joining us today.
Excellent, Stephen. Thanks for talking to us.
Keith Muller is the Chief Executive of Atlantic Lithium.